Today, we're going to unravel one of the wildest crime stories of the digital age, the rise and the spectacular fall of the Silk Road, a billion-dollar ghost in the machine.
So, where does a story like this start? You might be thinking some shadowy warehouse or a secret compound, right? Nope. Our story begins right here, the Glen Park branch of the San Francisco Public Library. Just picture it, a quiet Tuesday, you can hear pages turning, everything is completely, totally normal.
But here's the thing, sitting right there, in the sci-fi section, is a guy who is secretly running a billion-dollar criminal empire from his laptop. So the question is, how on earth did a geek in a library become the FBI's most wanted man online?
To really get how this all started, we actually have to jump to the very end, to the final nail-biting move the FBI made to take him down, a move they called the library trap.
Okay, so this is Ross Ulbricht. He's 29.
And anyone else in that library, he's just some guy, maybe a coder working on a startup.
But what he doesn't know is that outside, FBI agents are watching his every single move because they know his secret. He is the Dread Pirate Roberts, the absolute kingpin of the Silk Road.
And the FBI had this huge problem. They couldn't just rush in. Why? Because if he gets even a hint that something is wrong, he hits one key, just one, and boom, the laptop's military-grade encryption slams shut, maybe forever. All the evidence, the keys to his entire billion-dollar kingdom, would just vanish. They had one shot, and they had to get that laptop while it was open and unlocked.
So yeah, how does a 29-year-old even get into a situation like that? Well, to figure it out, we've got to rewind way back. Because before he was a kingpin, he was an idealist.
This is the younger Ross Ulbricht, and he's not what you picture, not some gangster. He was a physics grad student from Texas, and he's a super passionate libertarian, really into this idea of free markets and, as little government as possible. He just fundamentally believed the government had no business telling people what they could or couldn't do with their own bodies.
So when Ross looked at the war on drugs, all he saw was chaos, right? Violence, cartels, people getting hurt. And his big idea, the Silk Road, was meant to be the solution, to take all that danger and just remove it. He literally imagined a world where buying drugs could be as safe and predictable as ordering a book from Amazon. Think about that. User reviews, a sense of community, for drugs.
But to pull this whole thing off, he needed two very specific pieces of tech. First, a way for everybody to be completely anonymous. He found that in the Tor browser. And second, he needed a type of money that the banks couldn't trace. And back in 2010, he stumbled on the perfect tool, this new, kind of obscure digital currency called Bitcoin. So he had the big idea, he had the technology, and man, did it explode. He basically built what everyone started calling the Amazon of illegal drugs.
The growth was just staggering. He goes live in February 2011, and get this, he personally grew his own magic mushrooms just to get the first products listed on the site. But by 2012, it was a full-blown global phenomenon. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars flowing through his servers.
And you gotta understand, this wasn't some sloppy dark web forum. No way. This thing was professional. It had a clean interface, customer support, and 5-star reviews for, everything from marijuana to heroin. He even set up an escrow system to protect buyers' money, and sellers used vacuum-sealed packages to ship their products right through the regular mail. And Ross? He was taking a commission on every single sale, making an absolutely astronomical amount of money. At its peak, his daily income could be upwards of $50,000 per day. Just let that sink in.
But you know how it goes. With all that money and all that power comes immense pressure. And this is the part of the story where that libertarian dreamer starts to fade away, and a much, much darker persona takes over.
It's like Ross Ulbricht just disappeared, and in his place was the Dread Pirate Roberts, or DPR for short. Yeah, he took that name from the movie The Princess Bride. The whole idea that the title is meant to be passed from one person to the next. But for Ross, this became his all-consuming identity. He was like a digital god ruling over his anonymous kingdom.
And this is the moment the idealist truly died. Because when he was faced with blackmail and threats to his empire, Ross made a decision. He reached out to contract killers. These are his own words, logged forever. I would like to put a bounty on his head.
In total, he paid out $730,000 for 6 alleged murders for hire. Now here's the crazy part. Investigators believe these hits were all just scams. They probably never even happened. But, and this is the key part, Ross didn't know that. In his own mind, he had become a killer to protect his creation.
So while Ross was descending into this dark role, a whole team of investigators was hunting for him. And the break in the case? It didn't come from some sophisticated hack. It came from a simple, very human mistake.
So this IRS agent, Gary Alford, he decides to try something different. He goes all the way back to the very beginning. He's just Googling the earliest mentions of Silk Road, searching for a ghost. He finds a user named Altoid, promoting the site on old forums. Then he keeps digging on this Altoid character and finds another post. This time, Altoid is asking for coding advice. And in that post, he made a fatal slip. And there it was, the needle in the haystack. The ghost and the machine suddenly had a name. All of the high-tech anonymity, the millions of dollars, the entire empire was about to unravel because of a single Gmail address posted years earlier. That one email address, that was all they needed. The FBI tracked Ross to San Francisco, confirmed he was DPR, and they closed in for the arrest, which brings us right back to where we started. Back in the library, two agents stage a loud, fake fight right behind Ross. Just like they planned, he turns his head for a split second, distracted by the noise. And in that instant, another agent swoops in, slides the laptop away from him, and passes it to their tech expert. It's open. He's logged in as the site's administrator. Game over.
The judgment was absolute. For his role in creating and running the Silk Road, Ross Ulbricht was sentenced to 2 life sentences plus 40 years, with no possibility of parole. He will die in prison.
The Silk Road is gone, but the technologies are combined. Anonymity networks and cryptocurrency are more powerful than ever. Ross Ulbricht forced a global conversation, but his legacy is, well, it's deeply conflicted. Was he a visionary, a martyr for online freedom and privacy? Or was he simply a monster who built a platform that enabled addiction and death? That's the question his story leaves for all of us.